The little girl clutched her father's framed photograph, tears streaking her cheeks. When the cold voice cut through the air, "You don't belong here anymore. Get out." Her tiny shoulders shook. Her shoes scraped against the dirt road, and the mourners turned away in silence. But none of them knew someone was watching. Someone powerful. Someone who would not let this injustice stand. Before we start today's story, leave a comment below and let us know which city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate it from 0 to 10. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. She stood barefoot on the steps of her own home, the black dress clinging to her frail frame, her hair damp from the morning rain. In her hands, she carried nothing but a photograph of her father smiling in uniform, the man who had been her shield against the world. His funeral had ended only hours ago, but the warmth of the earth on his grave had not yet cooled when her Stepmother's command echoed like a blade. "Leave. This house is no longer yours." Neighbors watched from behind half-closed curtains. Some pitied, some judged, but none moved. The little girl's eyes searched for one face among them, but all she found was silence. That silence was heavier than words, heavier than the rain dripping from the roof. She stepped into the road. The world smelled of wet soil and fading flowers. Each raindrop clung to her skin like an unanswered question. How could love vanish so quickly? How could promises die with the man who made them? Her father had been no ordinary man. He was a soldier who wore scars not as marks of pain, but as proof of sacrifice. The girl remembered nights when he returned home with tired eyes, but still managed to lift her into the air, whispering, "For you, I will never stop fighting." He had served quietly, with dignity, never asking for praise. The village respected him. Yet now that respect was silent. His final breath had left her with nothing but memories. And memories could not shelter her from cruelty. The Stepmother's voice still rang in her ears, sharp as broken glass. "Your father's gone. You are not my blood. You have no place here." Each word stripped away the fragile threads of belonging she had left. But the girl did not cry. She held her silence as tightly as she held the photograph. Silence was her shield now. She walked, past whispers, past eyes that refused to meet hers, and past doors that would not open. She walked until her legs ached, but still she kept going, because she remembered another of her father's words. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is walking forward even when the world turns its back. The village believed her story would end in tragedy. Yet destiny had written a twist no one expected. A black car rolled to a stop beside her. The door opened, and out stepped a man in a crisp suit, his presence commanding, his eyes carrying both sorrow and fire. He had known her father. They had fought side by side, brothers not by blood but by battle. He had promised, long ago, that if anything happened, he would protect the soldier's most precious treasure, his daughter. The crowd that had once been silent now gathered, murmurs rising as the millionaire bent down to the girl's level. He didn't ask questions. He didn't demand proof. He simply took her hand, his voice low but firm. "Your father gave everything, and today I give you my word you will never be alone again." The Stepmother's face turned pale when she heard the man's name. She had thrown the girl away as if she were nothing. But the world was watching now. In the silence that followed, justice was not shouted, it was seen. The millionaire lifted the girl into the car, the door closing with finality, leaving behind the house that had betrayed her. As the car drove away, the villagers bowed their heads. Some wept, some whispered, regrets. And though the girl said nothing, her silence spoke louder than any cry. Her father's photograph rested in her lap, but for the first time since the funeral. Her lips curved into a fragile smile, and so the story ended not with defeat, but with dignity. A soldier's promise had been kept, not by blood, but by honor. In that moment, the world was reminded of a truth worth carrying. Respect is not given to the loudest voice, but to the quietest courage. Family is not always who shares your blood, but who keeps their promise when silence surrounds you. Every story of silent heroes deserves to be told. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from. Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more stories that honor courage, respect, and the quiet strength that changes lives.